How's it going? And Coca Dawn, welcome. Uncle Al, I want you to know I hadn't forgotten about you. I am going to give you a lot of love over the holidays. I'm off for a couple of weeks. Also, you should expect to receive something from me in the mail. Uncle Al, I want Oops. You to know I had to turn it down. Ah, more folks in the house. KP Heathen, explore with our village. Welcome, guys. How's the weather in Louisiana, Heathen? And how are you doing, explore with our village? Cold War Prepper, hello, Lee. Six in the house and 6 likes. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Oh, and for those of you who have served, I know Lee served, and I know Al served. Thank you for your service to our country. SD Mountain Man, and thank you for your service to our country, Scott. So we are prepping for SHTF, and as Uncle Al has said, World War III has started. It does seem like we're moving in that direction, doesn't it? You know, there's fighting in multiple places that we're sort of involved with. Susan Adornado Vog, thank you for coming in. And the Bud Files. Thank you both. I want to make sure I haven't missed anybody. Well, I have been really using my Prime. I've been buying a lot of stuff and having it delivered. It's funny. Some of the people that work with Prime in their delivery centers, they don't necessarily use common sense when they package something up. I got a huge box. I mean, a really big box, and it's got a small little package inside of a 12-pack of coffee. I have really come to like this Nescafe Classico dark roast, 7 sticks for $1, and you can order a 12-pack through Amazon, and it costs you about $13, I guess, with tax and everything, if you pay tax on it. I don't know, but I had ordered a 12-pack, and I took some to school because I've got a Keurig, but I'll put the little coffee sticks in my Keurig a lot of times. I'll put coffee in the cup. I'm drinking hot cocoa right now. Pumpkin spice, left over from, you know, back in the day. I ordered, well, actually, I bought a couple extra boxes of it. The pods, they're very good. And Bus Stop, thank you for coming in, Bus Stop. So, I ordered these, and I posted on my community wall. It's not that much space. It's a small little box, 2, 6 on each side in a little box. And then they send it in this huge box, which I haven't unboxed over there. I thought I would do a short or a video on that, just the humor of it, to show how they do sometimes. I just thought it was humorous that they waste so much cardboard to send a small little package in a big box. Anyway, getting text messages and notifications as I'm looking at my phone. But I hope everybody takes the seriousness of what's going on around them, that you don't have your head in the sand. You need to be able to support yourself for a period of time if you can't go to the store. I mean, you can go to the store right now and you can buy what you want, you can order what you want, but what happens if you can't order what you want and you can't buy what you want? What do you have? Do you have enough stuff to sustain you for a period of time, to sustain your family for a period of time? And and that's what being prepared is about. Prepping is having what you need when you can't get it elsewhere. And this is, I should have a taco for this one. This is a taco talk? I should have a taco. It's more like a coffee talk or a cocoa talk. Yeah, I think we are too. I think, well, look at it like this. Hi, little lone prepper. Reggie, thank you for coming in. Been a while since I've seen you. Appreciate you being here. So yeah, I think we're on the precipice of here's my thought. You call it a conspiracy or whatever you want to. Look at the president's ratings. He's in the toilet with his own people. And look at, just look at the fear that a lot of the Democrat incumbents, like the Senate, I don't think they're going to retain the Senate. I mean, it's very close right now. I don't think they're going to retain the Senate. They're going to lose a couple of seats at least, and it's going to go back. It'll be a close one, but it'll flip back. They'll lose the Senate. I don't think they're going to get the House back, and they're desperate to try to see what they can do to turn things around. So people tend to be the most patriotic when we're at war. Having a war, having justification to do what they're doing. I mean, you've got the Justice Department and the FBI spying on Christians, churches, Catholics, all those horrible people, those deplorables that, the Democrats like to talk about, all those Walmart shoppers. And So what would they do to try to turn things back around for them? I think actually getting into a hot war, they think would do that. It'd also stimulate the economy. The economy is in the toilet. And I wouldn't put it past them. These peace-loving Democrats are the ones that usually start wars, you know. And they portray the previous administration as like the most horrible thing ever. And really, if you got any common sense and you look at, other than the drama, the constant drama that they were stoking up, if you look at what actually happened with the economy, we were energy independent, we were exporting energy, we had stabilized the border to a certain extent, limiting the numbers that were coming in. Money, the interest rates, things were really going well in a lot of ways. The Jamba Project, thank you for coming in. But all you will hear about on the news are the negatives. You're not going to hear anything positive about the prior administration. According to them, according to their press conferences, they're trying to clean up their mess. And if there's anything bad, blame it on the previous. That's what Obama did, you know. Obama blamed his first 4 years on Bush, the younger. If there was anything wrong, it was Bush. George Bush Jr. Bush. You know? And the stupid people believed him. How do you know? Well, they voted for him. If that's not a sign of stupidity, what is? He did more. He set race relations back 100 years. He really did. You know, he and his wife, oh, I've never been proud. I've never been proud of my country. You know, I'm sorry. If I'm saying some things that upset anybody, then I apologize. But I speak the truth. Hillbilly Josh. I was talking with my wife earlier, and oh, there's so much to do before Christmas. There's so much to do. You know, we got to get ready. We don't have much time, you know. And then I mentioned, I tend to deflate things. You know, the early church didn't celebrate Christmas. For several hundred years of Christianity, they didn't celebrate Christmas. They didn't celebrate the birth of Christ. You know, they acknowledged it. You know, it was a blessed occasion, but it wasn't a celebrated holiday. I mean, they don't even know what day he was born on. They knew he was born in the fall. The shepherds and the flocks were in the field. They probably know the month he was born. They think he was born probably somewhere around September, maybe. And, but that's not something, you know, if it was so significant, why didn't they hit that exact date when it happened? Like, we know exactly when he was crucified, we know all that. We got the timetable and we got the dates on all that. That's the important thing. The resurrection, you know. And, but everybody, it basically is turned into, it's the holiday, it's the presents, it's the, you know, the decorations, it's all the, you know. And they put, and I mean, yeah, that's, you know, for little kids, great, you know. I mean, My kid believed in the Easter Bunny at one time. Certainly believed in Santa Claus. We encouraged that. So, yes, amen. You know, praise the Lord. Every day when you get up, first thing you should do, especially when you get to be my age, is thank God for the day. Say a prayer and thank God for the day. You don't know how many days you have. There may be a day when you don't wake up. You know, hopefully when you pass, because everybody will pass, you do so peacefully in your sleep at an old age. You know, having known your great grandchildren and having had a relationship with everybody and being at peace with everybody. That's my prayer for passing for everybody. Unfortunately, a lot of younger folks pass. I look in the newspaper all the time about some famous person, 35 years old, passed away, had a heart attack or whatever. Athletes, you know. Hell, I'm 61, you know. And hopefully I got a lot of years left in me. My father's baby brother, the youngest in my father's family, he's 92 years old right now. He'll be 93 in July. The older brother, middle brother, 94 when he passed, Uncle Lucian. And everybody, all the women, everybody tends to live into their 80s, you know, early 80s, mid 80s, late 80s. So I have high hopes. My father did not. He died at the age of 64 from a brain tumor. He had a massive brain tumor. He used tobacco for over 50 years, and I've never been a tobacco user. You know, cancer. A lot of problems with heart disease and cancer with use of tobacco. Yeah, it is. Take care, Jim Project. Thank you for coming in. I'll be by to visit. So, mentioned about all these subscriptions. I need 8 subscribers to hit 1,500, and I've been saying it. Golly, Jesus Christ, forgive me, Lord, for saying it that way. But Lord, I have needed 8 subscribers for a while. I've been at 8, 10, 12 subscribers, and it's embarrassing that I hadn't gotten there. But I'm not reaching out the way that I traditionally would reach out, you know, for channels. Somebody comes in here on my live stream, I subscribe them. Somebody new comes in, I subscribe them. I'll go by and I'll visit them. You know, I give them a standard moderator, and I link them on my community wall, you know. But I just have not. I've been stagnant. They say there's something about that. Getting to 1,000, getting to 1,500, getting to 2,000. Uncle Al's struggling to try to hit 2,000. I'm struggling to hit 1,500. Pastor Green struggled to hit 1,000. He was, good Lord, Pastor Green. Justin Green, God's old man, he took forever to get to 1,000. He was right there, you know. He was a lot bigger channel than I was, and then I just zoomed past him. Now he's about 1,010, you know. But good channel, great. He does great Bible studies. If you're not subscribed to him, you need to subscribe to God's old man, Pastor Green, Justin Green. And you need to give him some watch time, and you need to really, if you're not going to church and you want to spend a little time with the Lord, he does an outstanding Bible study every Sunday morning. He drops it as a premiere, and I mean, just really 15-20 minutes. I mean, it's worth your time. I'm usually driving every morning for work and say my prayers, thanks for another day, and my wife, and I make it where we are going safe and no accidents or breakdown for my friends and family. Well, I tell you, and here's what I'll tell you what I pray for. Every day I thank God for the day. I say the Lord's Prayer, the one He taught us. And every day I thank God for the day, and I ask blessings for my my family, wife, daughter. I asked for health, and I asked for wisdom. You know, my wife was telling me she had the pastor at church pray for a camper trailer, a new camper trailer. And the pastor prayed for me for a camper trailer. I said, that's not what you're supposed to be praying for. You know, that's not what you're supposed to be asking for. I pray for my wife's health all the time. She's got health issues, takes a lot of medication. She'll be going to the doctor tomorrow for a couple of tests, you know. But, so are you prepared? So here's the basics, and I'll go over the basics again. And you can get as in-depth as you want. You need drinking water, clean drinking water. Whether you're refilling bottles or whether you're buying new bottles, what I do is I buy bottles, but then I refill them, you know. And you need drinking water. You need drinking water for everybody in your house. You need water to prepare food for everybody in your house. And that's not even counting hygiene. You need the food. It needs to be stuff that you can eat, that you like to eat. And it doesn't have to be expensive. I've looked at how much it costs to eat, you know, on the cheap. And I've often said, there you go with the Latin. Yep. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. I have a little bit of a Latin background. Lee and I both had some experience with the church, and I graduated Incarnate Word Academy in Corpus, class of 1980. Lee's got about 10 years on me. And I started in a convent in Mission, Texas, first grade. First grade and second grade were in the same room. It was a huge room. First grade was on one side, second grade was the other, so that was small, you know. We had like one class per grade. And Mrs. Burris, I'll never forget her. Mrs. Burris, that's been, 55 years ago. 55 years. I was 6 years old at that time. First grade. The fires of hell. Yeah. One of these days, Lee, we're going to have to talk about purgatory. An invention of the church. A way to make money. Yeah, I studied history. I have about twice the number of courses I needed to have for my degree. And I know quite a bit. I know all the dirty secrets of the church, you know. Uncle Al, thank you for coming in. I know you're a baby bus stop. You're a baby. You might not be baby size, but you're still a baby. Bus stop is, I like to think of him as a nephew, you know. Try to be a Dutch uncle to him, if you're familiar with the term Dutch uncle. We talk all the time. I'd like to see Bus Stop get monetized. He needs the watch hours. He's got his 1,000, but talking to him about, you know, monetization. And I encourage people to subscribe him and to view his, give him watch time. WD Glock and Roll, thank you for coming in, WD Glock and Roll. Good to see you in the house. Yeah, you need to look that one up. Yeah, Dutch uncle. It's an uncle that's not really your blood, not your blood uncle, but somebody you sort of, like, mentors you or takes you under his wing, sort of like a friend of your parents. You call them an uncle, but they're not really related to you by blood. That's what it's sort of a Dutch uncle. If you may not be familiar with that term, but it's an old term. So, again, water, food, a means to heat water. So, as an example, and I'm putting boxes together right now of stuff. Where am I at? Where are you? Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Crap. Oh, here they are. I got stuff all over the place. I got got stuff I've been stocking up on stuff to give away. Means to heat water. Stove. You can use this inside. And then sterno green. It's a 2-pack. You can burn this inside. It's safe. Some of the stuff that I'm giving out. Likewise, I've got a another Coogan stove. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? These you could burn them inside, but they stink like hell. Better to do it outside on the porch, or do it. It's a 24-pack. Got 24 in here too. The stove. I'll do a video on it. But I'm stocking up some stuff for people, giving goodie boxes. Stormproof matches. These are on sale for $2.50. Got a bunch of those. I'll put one of those in it. And also some sauce. Creative Redundancy. Thank you for coming in, Creative Redundancy. Good to see you in the house. So, I am working on boxes for people that I'm going to give away. I've been putting Tabasco sauce along with them. I like the green sauce, really tasty. It's the number 2 on the heat scale. I also like the chipotle. Chipotle is my favorite. It's the number 2 on the heat scale. The regular Tabasco sauce is a little vinegary. It's a number 3 on the heat scale, the red sauce. I use it, but I prefer to use the green sauce or the chipotle sauce. Both of those are good. So I'm working on boxes for certain individuals that have been really supporting me a long time. They come into everything that I do. They're honest preppers. They really believe in prepping. They support me. I support them. They may not be creators, but they come into my live streams, and I'll probably be doing a few videos showing what I'm putting into boxes. Likewise, if you have not viewed and left me a like and a supportive comment on my last 5 videos, I encourage you to do so. I'll be dropping a premiere probably tomorrow on another video that I did this morning, putting together a box for somebody, showing some of the stuff that was going to be in their box. And I'll premiere that tomorrow, probably about 6:30. I'll drop it as a premiere, and then I'll live stream tomorrow at 7. So I don't anticipate hitting the 1500 prior to that. So that'll be one of those 5 videos that you need to basically, and I mentioned that in the video, that basically what you need to do is you need to leave me a like and support a comment on that video, and then go back 4 more. And then I'll put together my list. I'll write the names down, put them on pieces of paper. I'll put them in the hat, shake the hat, pull out a name, and whoever that is will be getting my goodie box for 1,500 subscribers. Right now I'm sitting at 1492. Yeah, you need spices. At one time, people would get paid with salt. Pepper was, ooh, pepper. At one time, chocolate was the big thing. When the conquistadors went over, they brought back chocolate. Chocolate was a big delicacy. The chocolate was worth your weight in gold. And it's funny. You think about, at one time they thought tomatoes were poisonous. I love tomatoes. Idaho Garden Girl, I haven't seen her in here this evening. A lot of times she'll catch it replays. She U.S. is suspending all rail traffic from Mexico into the U.S. Finally, semi-quasi, almost sort of kind of a semblance of border control. Yeah. The Texas border, Texas is fighting. The Texas government, the governor, he's deploying resources. The Guard, Department of Public Safety, the sheriffs along the border, deputies, they are fighting for us. They are. And they're trying to seal holes in the border. And then you've got members of the federal government trying to take down the barriers that the state's putting up. They're filing lawsuits trying to prevent us from keeping all the illegals from coming over. And I expect there's going to be a lot of blowback in the foreseeable future. They're getting fed up. We really are getting fed up. There's a big Republic of Texas movement. At one point in time, when Clinton was president, if Bush had not got elected, Bush the younger, I really saw Texas making a move for leaving the Union. I really saw it. It was a big movement. And I think a lot of y'all up north, if that happens, will probably move to Texas. Texas has a large gold depository, so if we were to create a currency, it could be based on the gold standard. We very well could seal our southern border. Of course, we're also building barriers along the New Mexico border, and I think we probably would have to do something other along the Louisiana border. But I could see Texas. We have our own. There are 3 power grids in the United States. There's an eastern grid, a western grid, and a Texas grid. And Texas has its own power grid. Yeah, it's not the best in the world, and they're working on it, and they're spending money on it. Yeah. Well, hell, y'all need to do something up there. Y'all need to do something other. And I think his replacement would be just as damn liberal as he is. Truthfully, y'all need to do something up there. You want to get rid of him? Well, you can vote him out. You can get rid of him, but y'all gotta get together and do it. I mean, your country is going down the toilet too. You're more socialist than we are, and we're getting there. Right now, they're working on what they can do to steal the next election. They did a pretty good job in the last time, but then, you know, it's known what they did. So states are taking steps. The states, those border states, the ones that they're red enough that they elect state representatives, their state's majority red, but then how the hell did Biden get the vote? You know, very close. They're doing things to clean their rolls. They're doing things to keep illegals from voting. They're going to stop this absentee voting crap. The stuff the ballot box. They're working really to try to prevent that. One of the things that you don't really hear about, that they don't talk about, is that the guy who created Facebook or Meta or whatever you want to call it, he put close to $500 million into the last election in certain areas. They always talk about George Soros and how he basically supports and he funds the most liberal SOBs you can imagine for positions, like district attorneys and attorney generals and all that crap, the ones that really are going to F up the state. That's socialist. He supports that crap. His son, he's not going to be around forever. He's really old, but he's got a son that's sort of picking up the slack for him. Constantly wants to go to the White House, take pictures, everything. Oh yeah, big talks about how, oh yeah, you got to really work on that. Got to really work on that. We got to destroy the country. Got to destroy the country. You got, the way that they are, they want to destroy the country. They do. They want to recreate the country into a socialist paradise. Well, if it's so great, why is everybody trying to leave those socialist countries to come here? Mom of 4 boys, how you doing? Thank you for coming in. I have given you some love recently. I think I run one of your live streams. I'm trying to give you playtime, support you. Idaho Garden Girl, thank you for coming in. I mentioned you earlier. Those wonderful cherry tomatoes that you do. All the fruit that you grow. Your orchards. I've been meaning to ask you. I know you moved. So I guess now you're going to have to basically recreate your orchard and everything, replant. Or are you keeping the place that you have, and are you going to lease that place out, or what are you going to do there? And how far away did you move from where you were at? You don't need to give me the specifics, but I am curious about that. I've been meaning to contact you for a little communication. So, back to what I was saying. You need to have water, and you also need to have a way to treat water. This is another one. This will treat 60 gallons. And chlorine dioxide, portable aqua, water treatment liquid, kills odor-causing bacteria and enhances the taste of stored portable water. Easy to use, no aftertaste. Treats up to 60 gallons. There's a part A, and then there's a part B. And basically what you do is you put in the part A and you let it sit for about 30 minutes, and then you put in the part B in about 30 minutes, and then it, you know. And I've got lots of water that's been stored for a couple of years, 3-gallon stackables. And before I actually drink, and it was, you know, purified water. Before filtered water. Before I would drink it, I would probably treat it with that. If it gets down to the point where I have to use it. Thank you, Scott. It's Lady M. How's it going? You're in the process of moving an hour's drive. The new place was a horse property. They were not into chickens, and though they had a greenhouse, they never used it. It was for when the survive SHTF. I understand. So you got work to do. I understand. Certainly understand. Ten in the house and 17 likes. I need about 110 watch hours. Getting close. I'll probably be there inside of a week, less than a week. Then I need to follow it with YouTube. Take care, Scott. Thank you, Lee. I have been playing your live streams. I have been playing yours overnight. Truthfully, I watch your shorter stuff. I have not been, like, if I come into your live stream, I'll stay for a few minutes. I'll leave a couple of comments and then I'll go. But I just haven't. You know, one thing is when I finish here at 8 or a little after 8, I'm going to bed. I don't stay up late. So a lot of times you come on around 8 o'clock. I'll go in there for a few minutes, and then you know that because we've talked about me coming onto your channel before, and I tell you I'm not really an evening person. I don't do evenings that well, and I force myself, you know, like this afternoon I wasn't working, so I took a 2-hour nap. You know, I slept for a couple hours, what they call a siesta. Take care, Scott. Be safe. I understand, but lots of stuff to do videos on. And you know, it's winter time, so you won't be planning over the winter. You'll have time to get organized so you can, you know, get going during the spring. Need to get all your hydroponic stuff set up. You know, your aero gardens. That's neat stuff, you know. Make sure you take all that stuff with you and get it set up. Poteen. Poteen's good stuff. You know, we're similar age, Stephanie. And I don't have the energy I used to have. I don't work out and exercise the way I need to. Well, last time I went to the doctor, I was up 15 pounds, 245, so I felt like a beached whale. You know, it's like I'm just, right in here. You know, well, I said, "You look good when you clean up." You know, I'm cleaned up. You know, trimmed the beard, took care of the head. I'm just, I don't have the energy. I don't have the strength, the energy. I used to be into martial arts, and I can't do any of the stuff that I used to do. I don't have range of motion. I don't have muscle memory the way I used to. Like, you train so much, you just automatically do things without thinking about it because it's just instinct because you trained to do it. I don't have that anymore. I can't do all the, you know, spin kicks and all the stuff that I used to be able to do. And a couple of times when I've had to deal with kids, junior high kids, boy, I'm tired. Give me a couple of minutes with that kid, and I'm breathing heavy, trying to restrain a kid or get a hold of a kid, and deal with them when they're out of control. You know, just I can't do what I used to do. That's why you need to have something to equalize. Good old Colt. My father carried a Colt revolver 6-shooter, 4-inch barrel. He had an old Western style holster, with the bullets in the rim and everything. He didn't. I like. I have my mother's, may she rest in peace, her Lady Smith, satin stainless, 357, cherry wood grips. Got a couple of speed loaders for it, 6-shot. I use Plus P in it, and that's my go-to. Wayne hasn't been here lately, but Wayne would talk to you about those. You don't carry those 6-shooters and those those single stack mags. The ones that hold 8 or 9 bullets. You need to get you a double stack. You need to get something that'll hold 16, 18 rounds. Because of the terrorists and everything. Well, he's telling the truth. You really do. You really need to think about that. Also, you need a good 20 gauge shotgun. I got a 12 gauge pump, a nice one. Double aught buck. Got tons of it. But really, for getting older, for a lady, for a youth, for somebody a little bit older like me, a 20 gauge with triple aught buck. That'll clear a room. Yeah, you still skate. People don't believe me. When I was young, I did photography. 35 millimeter, 2¼ inch. I used to do professional photography, event photography. Back in the day, when I was a teenager, I was a disc jockey. Used to do AM 1440, weekend stuff, minimum wage stuff, But you would do dances, and I used to DJ dances, and back in the day, like $100 an hour was going great. It went up, but we're talking about 1970s, 1980ish. 4-hour dance, $400. That was money back then. Friday and Saturday nights. That was when you made your money, Friday and Saturday nights. And I used to skateboard. Used to like to do 360s and go to Holly Hills and do all that sort of stuff. I wore knee pads and elbow pads. Never wore a head, because I knew how to fall if I was going to take a fall. But I'd wear my knee pads and elbow pads. And had a bonsai board. Back in the days. I haven't done any of that stuff in 40 years. Now photography I did, you know. I was doing photography up until about 40. I did photography for 20 some odd years. Good way to make extra money. Also a good way to meet young ladies. Everybody wants a portfolio. They want snapshots, you know. So, yeah, I hope we have got extensive landscaping that we've done, and I hope the freeze doesn't get a bunch of it. We've only had one light freeze so far. Got down to about 30 overnight. Had a little frost on the car in the morning. Had to put some water over the windshields. Just a little bit. Just enough that it would have been hard for the wipers to take care of it. Yeah, back in the day I used to use Nikon, and then for a while I used to use Canon. When Canon came out with the A1, I bought a pair of them, you know, with the auto flash, and it was fully automatic except for focus. They did not have the autofocus at that time. All you had to do was be able to focus, and it was fully programmable, fully programmed. And I used that for a long time. Yeah, I had an AE1. I had a Canon AE1, and it was a f-stop, auto f-stop. You had to set the shutter speed. It's like I had the equivalent of that is I had the Nikon FE. The FM was completely manual. The FE was a shutter priority. You had to set the shutter speed. And at that time, I could sync with my flash at 1/250th of a second. So you really could not use a flash for action photography at that time. But 1/250th second, somebody could be walking, and it would not blur them, you know. And I used a light kit with background, you know, backgrounds. I used to use what's called background in a bag, you know. I had one that was a bluish gray, and it would look nice when you did portraits and such. Pearls Carmen Castillo, thank you for coming in. Welcome. Welcome, Pearl, Carmen. Yeah. At night, when it's dark, they will completely open up. When it's light, real small. Now, one of the ways we can tell if somebody's been doing some drugs or certain things, they get that glassy-eyed look. So, yeah, please feel free to drop your link. If you have a premiere coming up, Livestream won't drop your link. Feel free to. Doesn't hurt my feelings. Mention it. Be happy for you to. So back to what I was saying, you need food and water. You need a means to heat water for coffee, for tea, for, you know, if you're using freeze-dried food, you need to reconstitute. You need to be able to boil water. I just showed you a few minutes ago some of the things you can use. And you need hygiene. If the water turns off, if the sewer line's not working, what are you going to do? You have a 5-gallon bucket. You have 13-gallon trash bags. You put 2 trash bags, one inside of the other, and then you use a plastic toilet seat. These go for about $20. And then you use toilet paper wipies. Got tons of these wipies. After you do your business and you clean yourself up, you take the first bag and you tighten it. Close the second bag over the first bag. Take them out and dump them. Now if it's not the end of the world, trash pickup will continue running, so you can just go stick those out in your trash can. I get those big double. I've got 2 of them. You can just stick them in the trash can. Otherwise, you got to figure out what you're going to do with them. Verna, thank you for coming in, Verna. Faye's Place, how you doing? And then likewise, you better have a portable shower system. Something other. Here's an example. You need to be able to have some way to hang it up in the air. You can put 3 to 5 gallons in this. It has a hose with a little spigot turn off and on. You wet yourself, then you use your soap your important stuff, and then you turn it back on. You wet yourself and wash off. You can do it with 3 gallons. 5's better, but you can do it with 3 gallons. Those are not expensive. Lee, take care. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate you. And I'll be giving you playtime tonight again. Sophia, thank you for coming in, Sophia. Happy holidays. So 19 likes, one more, and I get to be 20. So like I said, you need to have water, you need to have food, you need to have a way to heat it, you need to have stuff for hygiene. If you take medication, you need to have a supply of your medication. It's nice to have a means to cool things down, having a 12-volt refrigerator. I got one sitting right there, brand new in a Bouge RV on wheels. Having alternate power sources, being able to run stuff on propane, the sun, solar, having a battery bank that you can recharge. All these are things that you need. Oh, I hope he's not holding a grudge against you. Devil Dog Prepper, thank you for coming in. Good to see you in the house. Yeah, one of the things I think I'm going to start doing when I get my act together, which I keep saying I'm going to do a tour of the kitchen and the pantries are in a lot better shape than the man cave is. But I may do a little tour video, an updated tour video. My wife doesn't like me doing that, but I may do a little updated tour video. And being organized is important. It really is important to be organized. So I always tell people Treat people the way you want to be treated. Be kind. Be respectful. Show your upbringing. Demonstrate, you know, that you had a good upbringing. Honor your parents. You know, honor them by behaving well. Be quick to say, excuse me. Bless you when somebody sneezes or coughs, you know. Yes, sir, and no, sir. Yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am. Tell those you care about you love them. They won't be around forever. You won't be around forever. You never know. Spend time with those you care about. And lead by example. I was a leader for 23 years in a leadership position. I've been an assistant principal, I've been a principal, I've been a director. Now I'm back to teaching. I have 2 teacher assistants that work with me, under me, paraprofessionals. And I thank them every day. I treat them well. And I believe we mutually respect each other. You know, we're a team. So that's something you need to think about. And bus stop, say hello to Verna. Be a good Christian. Something else, you know, I've told my kid. My kid does not like a lot of her mother's family, her relatives. And she really did not care much for her grandmother because her grandmother did not treat her that well. So I had to basically almost twist her arm to go to her grandmother's funeral. I didn't care for my mother-in-law, you know, in her later years. Um, she didn't really care for me, and she didn't care for my kid, and my wife was not one of her favorites. You know, my wife was the baby of the family. But I told her you have to do things that you don't necessarily want to do, and be quick to say hello to everybody. You know, smile at everybody, say hello to everybody, and move on. Tend your business. And yeah, you have people that you're related to by blood. How often do you see them? If you're, you know, if so, don't give people an excuse to talk bad about you. If we had not attended my mother-in-law's funeral, I'd have half of her family talking mess. You know, so I wanted to avoid that, and I explained that to her. I mean, well, that's true, Verna. That's true. Yeah, take the high road. You know, um, speak softly and carry a big stick. You know, that was Teddy Roosevelt, Theodore Roosevelt, Teddy. He he'd be a good one for you to read a biography about. He'd be a good one for a biography. He had an interesting life, and he was a great man and a great president. Did not care for his relative, FDR. Didn't really care for FDR. He basically started all this socialism crap that we got going back in the 30s. Only president to be elected for more than 2 terms. He was elected for 4 terms, died during the second year of his 4th term. Yeah, he was a rough rider. Yes, like the old saying, one of the great injustices of life is not being able to choose your relatives. That is true. Great injustice of life is not being able to choose your relatives. And I mean, the closest people that I've been, uh, I I was a late life baby. My mother was 40 and my father was 50 when they had me. They were married for 21 years before I was born. Both of them stopped smoking about 2 years before I was born. My father started chewing tobacco, nasty habit, but he stopped smoking, and that somehow affected the fertility of somebody. So my mother was able to get pregnant and have me. And most of my first cousins are all 20 years, 25 years older than me. My uncle Howard, who's the baby of the family, my father's family, is 17 years younger than my father. His kids are my age. He has 3 kids. They're about my age. All the others are all a lot older, and at least 10 years older, 20 years older. I've got a first cousin, the eldest on my mother's side, 89 years old. First cousin. She was 28 years old when I was born. You know. No, try that one on for size. That's one of the things, I was born out of my generation. I was born at a time, last of the baby boomers, but I should have been born probably 20 years before I was born. 18, 20 years. My closest cousin on my mother's side of the family, cousin Barbara, is 80 years old. She was 19 when I was born. She used to babysit me when she was in college. She would change my diapers, take care of me. And she's 80 years old. She'll be 81 her next birthday. So I can talk to you about yeah, the Second Amendment to the Constitution talks about militias and the right of the people to keep and bear arms, which will not be infringed. First Amendment's freedom of speech. Those are big amendments. The First Amendment, the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment defends the First Amendment. So, if we are starting down the road to World War III and the possibility of having some disruptions, you better get your stuff together and you better be prepared with food, with water. It's not expensive. You can get gallon jugs and reuse them, refill them. Hell, refill them with tap water if you want to, if you got clean tap water. Get a bunch of them together. A gallon of water, you can go buy a 6-pack at Sam's for about $6, about $1 a gallon. If you buy it at the store, I go to Aldi's, it's about $1.18, $1.20 for a gallon with the handles. You can very easily build those up. Build them up. Buy a few every time you go to the store and refill them. and you'll build up 40, 50, 60 gallons. I mean, I've got three-gallon jugs back over on the side back here that I've had for a long time, filled up with drinking water, clean drinking water, and I stack them 3 high. I got about 60 gallons there, which I need to think about. And then I got tons of it out in the garage, you know. But you need to be prepared. Remember the Boy Scout motto, the scouting motto is be prepared. Be prepared. And have a supply of your medication. You take medication, have a supply of it. Yeah, rainwater needs to be filtered. Have yourself a Sawyer, you know. Get yourself a Sawyer. Something other where you can, you know, filter a pint at a time, you know, a couple of cups at a time. And have plenty of food. I ordered some more food for Easter. I ordered some. I'm trying a new pail of Ready Wise. I'll open it up and show you what's in it when it comes in. And it's a bunch of these 2.5 serving meal packets like you get with Mountain House, but it's Ready Wise brand, and a big selection of stuff. And I paid like 80. I'll have to look, maybe $85 for it. Got a big selection, different stuff, and I'm trying it. And if I like it, I'll buy several of them. Getting number 10 cans, you know, of milk, butter, stuff that you would use, supplemental stuff you would use, juice, orange delight, coffee, you know. A lot of the coffees you get, they say they got a best buy date 2-3 years down the road. Well, hell, you want stuff that'll be good 25 years down the road, 30 years down the road, you know. That's stuff that you store and you don't use except in an emergency. Use the canned stuff. Use the stuff that's got a shelf life on it. Rotate that stuff. Make sure you're rotating it. Know the date on it. Put dates on everything. Rotate the stuff. Don't let stuff go bad on you. And just because the expiration date hits does not mean it's going to be bad. Likewise, you know, military rations, MREs, or humanitarian daily ration stuff. You know, that stuff's be good for 20 years if you store it properly. I mean, I've eaten 20-year-old rations. Most of the components are usually good, you know. Got to watch out if it's got nuts in it, you know. Certain things you got to watch out for. So I will do a premiere, and I'll post on my community wall, and I'll try to post the people who are in here tonight on my community wall. But I'll plan on doing a premiere of the latest video I did. It's about a 10-minute one, showing how I was prepping up goodie boxes for people for Christmas. And I'll do that as a premiere tomorrow, probably 6:30, and then I'll live stream tomorrow at 7. And I'll do my hour live stream at 7. So everybody, please remember the Boy Scout motto is be prepared. Life is good, but it is what it is. And everybody have a blessed day, and I will see you all tomorrow, hopefully, for another edition of Coffee Talk.